Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are coming back to you again with another fantastic community replay sent in this time by none other than Rakes88. And they have a YouTube channel, so I will go ahead and link their channel down in the comments below if you guys want to go over there, check them out, show them a little bit of love from the Spartan Army. Now, what are we doing? We are in the Linen, folks. One of the most busted Tier 7s in the game. If you don't know what the Linen is, it's probably because you didn't spend a whole bunch of money on a Christmas a couple of years back that allowed you to get this ship. And, I hate to say it, but I did. The Linen is busted. It is a very tanky, as you'd expect from a Russian battleship. Very accurate. Maybe you didn't expect that from a battleship for the Russians, but it also, I don't know, it's so good. It's the Russians' version of a Nelson, except it has some of the nastiest survivability guns and everything that you could ever ask for. So, right out the gate, we're going to take a shot. We've got an Iowa downrange. It's a fire and forget moment, right? We don't care how much damage we get. It's simple. We had our guns loaded. He's sitting there. We can shoot him. Take the shot. You miss all the shots you don't take. However, we are about to be loaded, and this Southern Dragon is pulling out full broadside in front of us. So, I wonder how that's going to go for him. I don't know what the Southern Dragon is thinking, but he's wrong. If we take... Oh, we didn't get all the guns, but it doesn't matter. Bonk. Oh, we almost killed him. Finished him off. Oh, no! Guess I'm not the only one that leaves people with just enough to get away. But cruisers right there to help finish him off, question mark? Apparently not. The torpedoes that anybody with a brain cell could have seen coming. I mean, why else would a Japanese cruiser decide to pull out full broadside in front of everybody other than to throw torpedoes? But our cruiser didn't get the memo and ends up eating torpedoes. Shocker. There's also a destroyer in the cap with us. Now, unfortunately, RNGesus says no, and we are unable to take out the enemy cruiser. But you can see Z-23 is in the cap. We also have a full broadside battleship freaking begging for us. Now, if you're in a Russian battleship that has limited damage controls, or a German battle cruiser that has limited damage controls, one of the things you want to try to get rid of real quick are HE spamming cruisers, because they are bad news for your health. But unfortunately, RNGesus is protecting this Southern Dragon some fierce. He has had so many shells go on both sides of that man's ship that man should just stop playing Legends, go play the lottery. It will work out better for you. Clearly. But surely he's not going to get screwed over again. Now, it looks like we're about to take that torpedo, and we do. Shots out on the Southern Dragon. Just need a shell to hit. Never mind. We needed 2 shells to hit. This is actually hilarious. I ain't gonna lie. If you guys don't know, I don't actually watch these ahead of time. I simply look at their description of events, and then I do a first take like commentary for you guys. And a lot of times it is hilarious to watch these videos. Just some of the goofiest things. But Scharnhorst, again, sailing full broadside in front of us. The cruiser has lost all of his hit points. Shocker. Our destroyer has managed to get rid of their Z-23. So now, at this point, it would not shock me to see Rakes here in the Linen start to push forward. These guys are clearly trying to kite away. We need to finish them off. We're getting some pretty good RNG against the Scharnhorst. Of course, Scharnhorst isn't doing himself any favors by just sailing broadside at every chance. But there we get 3 overpens, hit a little bit too high. Scharnhorst was turning towards us, so makes sense we get some overpens there. But as we push forward, we got to recognize that on the mini-map, you can clearly see as our mines goes down. Was it a mines? I forget. There's a cruiser right next to us. The cruiser died. But as that cruiser goes down, you can clearly see on the mini-map that there are 2 broadside battleships. We know one of them is an Iowa, because we shot at it already. But again, leaving the Scharnhorst with just enough to get away. Except this time he was burning, so Miyoko ends up taking him down. That's what it was. It was Miyoko that was next to us. But there you have it. Beautiful broadside Iowa to shoot at. You gotta love it. And this is, oh god, Iowa's already shooting at our broadside. Ooh, that could have been real nasty. But let's see if he gets as lucky as we just did. Well, that first shot ain't gonna do much of anything. Maybe a couple of penetrations, but that's about it. That second shot looks promising, though. Bonk. Oh! Swing and a miss. God, you gotta love Russian accuracy at anything beyond 12 kilometers. Now, if you don't know, Russian battleships actually get a buff to dispersion or grouping, one or the other. They get a buff inside 12 kilometers. So you want to try to get within 12 kilometers so that you get that buff. It is a passive buff. It has nothing to do with any commander perks or anything like that. It is simply, if you're in a Russian battleship and you get within 12 kilometers, your guns suddenly wake the fuck up. Other than that, I mean, this eye was being so freaking stupid right here. Like, I understand you want to just, like, bow in, but oh my god. If you see a Lenin shooting at your broadside, you should probably show a sense of urgency. Now, unfortunately, we do lose one of our guns temporarily, but we can't afford to. I mean, we do have 5 damage controls, so he's clearly running a tank build on this thing to get Master Mechanic. I don't know if he's running a specialty commander or anything like that. I don't know if there is a specialty commander that has Master Mechanic with an accuracy build, but then there's that accuracy coming back in to haunt us. We are within 12 kilometers, but that eye was going to go down pretty soon anyway. So we are now going to reposition. Now, that enemy Southern Dragon, or whatever it was, the cruiser that was out here, has managed to stay alive and disappear. And the destroyer's kind of going out there, catching the broadsides of these Iowas, probably with torpedoes in. Oh, there he is. There's the little turd burglar.
The target position.
Now, surely we're gonna finish off the cruiser here. Nope, nope. He shoots at the battleship. I guess after shooting at the cruiser about 300 times, he doesn't want to waste a shot on somebody that has 0 hit points. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, this game's over. Our team is lost. Look at this. We are down 3 ships to 6. That means each one of us is going to have to kill 2 people in order to bring this game back. Now, fortunately, we're not down that far on points, so we could potentially sink a couple of people and bring this game right back points-wise. Now, we do get detected here as we fire. There is somebody directly across from us. I didn't see exactly what it is, but there's a couple of cruisers over there. The destroyer has a beautiful torpedo strike on the broadside of that Iowa. Again, it's what you'd expect. That Iowa is now flooding, and also has HE coming in from the top. And we are shooting at a superstructure, so this Iowa's not long for this world. There is absolutely nothing he can do. Unless he somehow gets a damage control back and stops the fires and the floods, he's in trouble. Now, with the amount of AP that's coming in from one of those cruisers, I'm going to assume one of them is a Plymouth. That is a lot of armor piercing coming in, and it's small armor piercing. But we do manage to take down the enemy Iowa, and that brings the points much closer. And we know that 3 of the ships that are left are cruisers, one of which is clearly a Plymouth, and the other one is a cruiser that is also with them. And then we have the Southern Dragon that has 0 hit points. So what we can't afford to do is get ourselves in trouble, and the Benson has shown his hand. We know he's close by, we know he's low health. Our cruiser is actually in a little bit of trouble potentially, but the Benson gets himself spotted again. He's turning away, we take the shot, that is beautiful RNG, and down goes the Benson. And suddenly we have the points lead, plus the caps are tied. Meaning, this game should be a win. All we gotta do is not throw the game. Remember? That's it. We have a destroyer chasing down the cruiser. The destroyer could easily kill that cruiser. One salvo from that destroyer from the guns kills that cruiser. So we can't afford to waste any time with that. We also want to utilize the islands to protect us from those freaking light cruisers. We have the advantage. They have to come to us. And that is a massive advantage. And this is part of playing the game that a lot of people get wrong. All right? Recognize when you have the advantage and what you need to do to maintain the advantage. We have the points lead. The caps are tied up. Protect your bases and stay alive. The enemy has to come to you. right?
Adventure
Now here, we are spotted, meaning those cruisers are not in their smoke screen, and they're not spotted, meaning they are a very stealthy cruiser, meaning it is most likely the Plymouth that is coming forward. Unless, of course, there's an Italian there as well. But now the Colorado makes a huge misplay here. The cruisers get behind the island. We are actually fine. There's a Rochester there. Colorado coming out. Again, we have the advantage here. We're going to bow tank this Colorado. These guys are all in the same location. Nobody is creating a crossfire. Now, unfortunately, the Colorado is going to be able to spot us for the enemy light cruisers, and they have cover from behind the hill. So we need to get rid of this Colorado now. So aim higher up on the side. He's still aiming close to the water line, but at this range, really doesn't matter. We're going to land enough shells, probably finish. Nope, never mind. I lied. We hit 7 shells, but 5 of them overpinned and left the man with just enough to get away and get behind the island. Now remember, those cruisers just passed right in front of him. One of them is a Plymouth, right? We know this. There are torpedoes most likely in the water. Now Southern Dragon has thrown his ship out there one too many times, and surely this one is the one that we hit him with a shell and finish him off. And the Pittadell. Of course it's the Pittadell. Of course it's the Pittadell. Guy has no hit points, guaranteed Citadel. Now, at this point, we have a huge advantage. We have lost our cruiser. There is no reason for us to close the distance on these cruisers, especially when torpedoes are involved. Okay, you don't want to take that opportunity to get yourself torpedoed into oblivion and throw this match. Now, our teammate in the destroyer is trying to throw the match. Get that out of there. There's no reason for the destroyer to be anywhere near these cruisers right now. Just get out of there. It ain't worth it. We have the advantage. They have to come to us. Now, you'll notice that we are actually in the cap right now. Why do you think he's in the cap? I think it's pretty simple. Now, we fire our guns here, and you'll notice we don't get spotted. The smoke firing penalty, because of their own smoke screen, is keeping us from being spotted, and we get a beautiful double Citadel on the Plymouth, taking us over 200,000 damage. But we're capturing the base because the destroyer has already shown that he has an affinity to try to die. So we need to get the cap, guarantee extra XP, first of all, but also guarantee that we're going to accrue points fast enough that even if that destroyer dies, if we don't, we win. That's all it is. So we're getting some great RNG against this Plymouth, but Plymouths can be tricky to take out sometimes, unless they go full broadside, like most British things, they get exploded. But they can be pretty tanky, and they do have those super heals that some of the British ships get. And the super heals for the cruisers may not be quite as prolific as the battleships, but they are still enough to recover from like serious damage. So they'll be able to heal potentially if they still have heals, which he was full health a minute ago, so he probably has heals. But depending on how long he gets to stay alive, he's gonna have he might be able to get another heal off and get some of that hit points back. Now we are expecting the Rochester to come around the corner. We do get spotted, but he hasn't actually fired at us yet, so we don't see him. So he's far enough outside of our range that he's not detected, but he can detect us. But as soon as he decides to fire his guns, you can see he's already turning in, and I think he may have rushed this shot just a little bit. But if Rochester, yeah, I was going to say, Rochester was already turning in here. So again, just like yesterday's video, there are moments where you just want to be a little bit more patient. Neither of these guys are going to depth strike you from this range without torpedoes, right? There's less than a minute and a half to go. Even if they launch their torpedoes now, it's going to be almost the end of the game before those torps get to you from these ranges, right? So at this point, all we got to do is survive, be patient, and there's another Pittadell. As we catch the Plymouth from behind his island, we get to use one of our damage controls. Again, utilizing those damage controls very sparingly, because we only had 5 of them at the beginning of the match. I run an accuracy build, so I only get 3 of them, so I've got to be very sparingly on my my damage controls. But we end up bringing home the W. We had an absolutely fantastic game. Thank you to Rakes again for sending this in. 231,000 damage. Confederate high caliber, bringing the team back from the jaws of defeat. Shirot gets an honorable mention for almost a 3K base game as well. So let me know if you guys are enjoying these community replays and if you like what I'm doing. punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.